The acquisition of grammatical competence. A presentation made by Mauricio Sanchez, Carla Sanchez, Nasaid Vital, Francisco Gutierrez, and Samara Ruiz. Language learning courses have long been organized according to a generalized grammar syllabus that is to a sequence of language forms meant to be taught one after the next regardless the learners. Now let's move to the course books. Course books focus a lot in grammar, but they do it so controlled that students are not able to produce authentic products by themselves. Everything is guide and it doesn't allow the creativity of the student to flow. The course books are not focusing on grammar directly anymore. They do not present it as before when it was on the main first page of the lesson. Nowadays, course books do push grammar by adding it as an extra activity or something to complement the lesson. However, the material that is applied to complement the lesson is the actual explanation of the grammar structure, which certainly cuts with the inductive process the students were experimenting. Something that should worry us is how grammar is produced in course books. Usually, it is done at the sentence levels, which means that we only focus on the structures of one sentence, when in normal life we do not speak like that. We speak with textual and contextual level, where the speech should be complemented with the correct effective grammar form. Now, let's move to the pedagogical approaches.
PPP acronym stands for Presentation, Practice, Produce. According to what the authors mention, PPP is an approach that does not allow students to be in touch with real language because it lacks of contextualization of effective and cognitive engagement, and its exposure is inappropriate for students. Course books are made thinking of standard language as if it was used in common life, but in reality we see that that does not happen. This approach shows that it is ineffective when we talk about second language acquisition and promoting communicative competence. Still, the approach is quite accepted in the EFL and ESL community because it's face validity. What the author suggests is to modify the production phase and see it more like an opportunity of feedback and reinforcement.
Now let's move to discovery approaches.
Discovery approaches allow students to learn and retain in a better way the information because they learn by practicing with the language itself. We should raise awareness about proceduralization to autonomy. Some approaches, as the thinking approach, show that the students can choose what grammar to use and when, instead of using it as a fact. The teacher takes discussion to help make students come up with solutions to the problems and in doing so adheres to the following principles. If grammar teaching is avoided, learners are always present with a situation where the solution is known to them. Learners compose their own models of grammar by applying tools offered by the teacher. The teacher does not evaluate the quality of the proposed models. Students reconsider their models by collecting and analyzing samples of language where the model doesn't work.
Focus on form only allows students to focus in one grammar structure following the traditional approach, which is teaching the language as a discrete points. It could be unit by unit or topic by topic, but it shows that it is ineffective when we talk about real world because when we speak in our daily life, we use more than one grammatical structure to express what we want to say. Now let's move to the task-based approach. This approach is one of the most accepted approaches to teach a language. It directs the attention of the students to a task and, while performing it, they are acquiring or learning the language. This approach offers us 2 points to teach it, the strong one and the weak one. On one hand, the strong one is the purest interpretation of this approach. It completely submerges students into the language. Thus, they are going to be able to communicate with it. On the other hand, the week one includes a pre-teaching session. There, the teacher explains what kind of grammar they can use in a certain situation. The belief is still prevalent in many places that students need to learn the language required by a task before they be asked to do it. The task-based teaching approach focuses on learning attention and noticing and understanding any specific grammar features in the input rather than students' production of the target language to do tasks such as drills. Mission 2005 recommend discovery approaches, task-based approaches, and learning approaches because it is more likely to positively impact on of acquisition. There is also the form-focused instruction perspective to material that argues that the grader needs to gain an understanding of such theoretical issues, use of language, learning notes, and language awareness, and should develop a syllabus and set of instructional principles. Then he provides the following set of instructional principles which integrate FFI within a communicative framework.
This is everything from our team. Thank you very much for your attention.